Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines Sister Space, where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show, I have Jacinta Powell. How you do? I have Jacinta Powell and Sajo. Sajo Domo. Hello, Sajo. How are you doing,
I'm good.
baby? How are you?
Then you guys just stop this.
He did it to me this morning. That's why I did it to you.
It's not allowed.
Sajo, how though? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm fine.
How are you coping with the madness in Lagos?
But you know, I'd never get involved with the madness. I try not to.
Or you, or you are the madness?
I know you are going somewhere, but I try not to. I don't get involved. I just stay away from it. Okay, so Sir Joe, we're asking a question. Can husbands be best friends with their wives?
Is that a question? Can husbands?
Yes. Or should husbands be best friends with their wives?
Yes, I think 100%. I think one of the chief consideration one should have before committing into this institution called marriage is to ensure that you are both best of friends to each other. Now, to the ladies, you must ensure that your husband is your best friend. And then to the men, I will say to you, it's not a title that will be bestowed on you. You must earn it. So you should also go out of your way to earn that best friend title. Because in my humble view, the the easiest way to enjoy marriage is to be friends. And the best you can get out of every relationship, howsoever described, is friendship.
What is the definition?
Other criteria we should look, you can freely be vulnerable around and certain that they will not enter judgment against you, particularly in your hours of vulnerability.
Okay. Based on this definition you just gave now, when people say they're best friends, because I asked the question and I gave an example while we're speaking. So I was telling Sergio that if a guy is lusting over a woman and he's something he can tell his body, a guy who is just his friend, since the wife is his best friend, can't he just tell the wife, Omo, this babe, I like nakam. Do you understand? I like do this, I like do that. And she shouldn't get upset about it because they're best friends.
I think we need to be careful when we call our partners
Best friends.
best friends, because you guys are in a relationship for a purpose, and so you cannot. So what I'm trying to say is, so friendship, like you just made the example. You could say certain things to your buddy or your girlfriends, because that's what you guys have. That's the max. That's all you hold. There's no other agreement that we have. Now, if you call yourself best friends in a marriage, there's another agreement aside from being friends, because he said be friends even before you get married. Of course, we always say that be friends and all of that, but you now know that you're stepping away from the friendship bracket into another terrain. Do you understand? And this terrain needs certain things. You can't say certain things. You can't act certain ways, and so much more. It's an institution now. It's not just being best friends. So you have to be careful with what you say. So I don't really think that the word best friend in all of its, of what it is applies in the same way when you're married. You guys can be friends to some point, but with the terminology as best of friends, I don't think it applies in marriage, like in that relationship, because there's a higher relationship than that.
Yeah, so I want to agree with you and then I want to agree with Sergio. So I'm in the middle. Why I say that initially, like I was there, so in my head, my best friend is that person I can be very vulnerable with. My best friend is that person that I can say anything to and I'm not thinking.
There's nothing at risk.
There's nothing at risk. I can be it and then you understand that she's just crazy. I say this and he's like, she doesn't mean it. I do this and the person is saying, it's okay, we'll talk about it. That's my best friend. But is it also possible, from Sajo's point of view, the person who is ready to take a bullet for you, regardless whether you're right or wrong?
So what is right and wrong now?
As in that present situation.
Is it right or wrong as being as friends, or right or wrong in the marriage?
No, when I mean you're right,
the
person who is supposed to take. Listen, I said the person who is ready to take a bullet for you. It doesn't have to do with you both now.
But it's not.
It's about
somebody. It's not a bullet literally. It's not like it's a bullet literally. Okay, so you need to know. Give me an example so you understand this bullet.
If, for example, somebody comes to say, "Oh, your spouse did this."
Okay.
You understand? And then you know that, it's possible that my spouse could have done that, but there will be a reason why he did it. I know he's done it. So I will stand for him to say yes. Do you understand? I'm solidly behind him because I trust him that there's a reason why he or she did this. You understand? I'm with that person. You're not that person that will say, I said it. This is who that's example. Do you understand? So that person, yes. So again, it's just like saying, that friend that you call me and say, Franca, let's go to war.
Okay, and then we leave everything you're doing.
I leave everything I'm doing.
We go to war.
We go to war. It's when we come back that I will ask you what happened.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Do you understand? That person. Or when we're going, if you tell me what's happening, I won't say, let's go back.
So do you really think, let's be honest, do you really, really think that your husband can be me, like the way you look at me and maybe I say, okay, I'm your best friend, I go to war with you? Because there are no boundaries. There's no expectations. Of course, we have our boundaries for being friends. We respect each other. But you see, we have nothing more than just, looking out for me. When I need you, you're there. We don't have kids together. We don't have any other thing that's higher than that. So let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. Can you really say
yes,
that your husband, with all the things that you can do in that marriage?
So that's why I'm saying it has to be defined. That is why I asked, what is best friend? What's the definition? So I think the definition of best friend is relative to the person.
Yes.
And then, yes. So in some cases, your husband can take a bullet for you.
Yeah, not in some cases.
In some cases.
Yeah.
Why in some cases? In all cases, your female friend
can take everything for you.
So Sajo, do you agree with this?
Yeah. Even his male friend would take more
bullets for him
than you.
Yes.
Because there's something higher than this friendship of this person of a thing.
So Sajo, do you agree?
Frankly, I think we are being a bit naive in our analysis.
Okay.
First of all, you do not rate your friendship on your relationship. The bestness of your friendship is not rated on your one-on-one relationship. It is what the person does to a third party who is either for or against you that determines the extent to which his friendship or her friendship is to you. Now, you alluded that you could say anything to your best friend. Let's call that best friend Madam A. But you can't say everything to your husband. But let me tell you this. Let me shock you a bit. Most times you know that you're not your best friend's best friend.
Sacho, that you're my best friend doesn't mean you have to be my best friend.
Wait now. That you're my best friend does not mean that I'm your best friend.
Yes.
Good. Now, if we put straight in your face, not frown your face when I talk. If we put that in perspective, there is really no guarantee. And there's no friendship without rules. There's no friendship that you will not keep something away from.
Okay. Yeah, getting to
now. You said you could say anything to your best friend. If you intend, let's go a little amorous. If you intend to have carnal interaction with your best friend's husband, will you tell her, I find your husband attractive, I would like to sleep with him?
Okay, so I would not even... So, Sajo, let me be honest with you.
No.
No, Sergio, you know why? So when
Would you say
Sergio,
that to her?
no, Sergio, wait,
That
let
is
me,
the same
no,
way I'm
Sergio, no, no,
coming.
no, no,
I'm
no, no,
not
no,
done. That is
Sergio,
just.
I cannot
That is.
agree. I do not agree with you
Can
because
I
for
finish
every
talking?
conversation you're trying to
Can I
have, you're
finish
going to sit
talking?
down and think of narrative to try and, you understand,
Can I
change
finish
the
talking? That
narrative.
is
No,
just hypothetical.
no, you
That's
cannot. Don't, this is
hypothetical.
not a courtroom, and I
Now,
always say this.
now
You know why I say that, Sergio? You know why I say that?
okay.
You and I have had this
Franca,
conversation
look at
before.
me. Franca, look at me.
I'm looking at you, Sergio. Sergio, I'm looking at you. Sergio, I'm going to use you and I for example. The things you and I speak about, it is not our spouse, so a third party cannot hear. Do you get my point? And then, guess what? And that's because we're very comfortable. Is Sergio still there? Sergio, so the things you and I speak
Sergio's
about.
mouth is sealed. I had not finished making my points. Until you allow me to land, I will not contribute again to this
Oh yeah,
conversation.
land.
Yes, the point I was trying to make is this, right? As to whether you can say everything to your spouse. Like, oh, you saw a beautiful girl, you find her attractive, you want to knock. First and foremost, by virtue of that relationship that you have willfully, before God and man contracted with your spouse, you are no longer allowed to see a beautiful girl and want to knock. So it's not even open for conversation. Right? The same way you're not allowed, by virtue of the relationship you have with your friend, whether you're married or not, to see her husband and want to knock. So those are extreme cases that you put forward. But for me, my understanding of best friend, by definition, is that person that you can go up to. If you have killed somebody, you just shot someone, you can go to that person and say, look, Franca, I was upset. I just killed the person. And the only question the person will ask you, what are we going to do with this? And not to start judging you. So the person must first be non-judgmental, supportive, willing to listen, and willing to walk that dark, narrow path with you always. And that, for me, the only persons who qualified for that should actually be persons that you share blood with, your blood relatives, or your spouse, if you're lucky to have a good one, which I dare say is very rare in today's world.
Sergio, are you done? Sergio, are you done? Baby, are you done?
You
Sergio,
go put yourself in trouble.
it's okay. So, but see, in all honesty, I hear you loud and clear, and this is exactly what we had discussed before. We said it is not everything, and I think it's the same thing Jacinta is trying to say. Everybody just saying it differently. Boundaries. What you just said, Jacinta just said the same thing. Jacinta said, yes, you can be friends, but there are boundaries because every relationship has boundaries. And what you just explained now is that, yes, there has to be boundaries because it is that boundary that would make me not want to sleep with my friend's husband. It is that boundary that is there and or responsibility, or obligation, or vow that will make my husband not want to tell me that he's lusting over somebody else. Those are boundaries. But then those boundaries, does it mean
Want
he
to
does?
sleep with another woman, not lusting.
Okay,
That is the
lusting,
same boundary
sleeping.
that makes
That's not the
him not want to sleep
I'm
with
just
another
saying
woman.
based on the example I gave. Do you understand? But then, Gesajo, guess what? Yes, those
It is not
boundaries.
excusing this male or female irresponsibility. It is not allowed. It's a no.
No problem. So, but Sergio, what I'm now saying is that, yes, those boundaries are there. Guess what? As casually, no matter how casual, that single comment will trigger something, and then she goes into whatever mood she wants to go into, no matter how
Is it something you can say to your husband?
that what?
Man, this guy, man, like I love to sleep with this guy.
Okay, so in all honesty, it is not even what I would say with my friend. because that's not...
Exactly. That
No,
is the
Sajo,
point.
no, Sajo, no. That I don't say it doesn't mean people would not say it. I will not say because it's not something. The things I cannot say to my husband, I can say to my friend. If he say I want chopping money or something. Do you understand?
You know why? You know why you cannot say that? Because your Chris never mature reach that level.
No, they tickle my fancy.
And the Chris not going reach there.
And yes. So, yes, I
Because I
decrease.
really raised you up where I gave you proper training.
I agree. That's why you're my friend. Do you understand? And, it's a good thing you're saying it on air. It means I'm well trained, So, but like,
Very well.
like,
The
but
family
Sajo,
is proud of you.
But Sajo, as I was saying, so that means that as much as you can say certain things...
My sister is giving up on us already. Don't worry. It's okay.
So as much as... No, she knows what she's doing. So as much as we can say certain things to our spouse, and yes, you want to say they are your friends, you cannot get so vulnerable, completely vulnerable with them. Is that what you're saying, Jess? Mm-hmm. Do you understand? And I think, Sajo, you would also agree, because yes, you can be very close.
No, I do not agree with you. I'm sorry, I do not. I think that the essence of being married is that remover of any form of safe nets. It is that place where you can be completely and totally vulnerable. So you know what? This is one human being on earth
Sajo,
who will not turn his back
Sajo,
or her back against me.
You gave an example. You said that if you killed someone, you would go to your wife and tell her. So why can't you tell her that you're lusting over another woman, or maybe you cheated on her? Because now the thing, what I
do not lust over women.
No, but the thing is, what I'm seeing here is you have taken cheating or lusting over another woman higher than even killing someone. Because now it has to do with your reasoning and how you look at situation. Because you mentioned that if I kill someone, I would tell my wife. But if I
didn't say if I
okay,
said,
no, but
like
just using
I
this
said the person
example.
should be able
if
to.
the person
you
said
I do not kill.
Okay,
I don't know how
sorry.
to kill people.
Okay, sorry, not you. The example that you had earlier mentioned. But all I'm just trying to say to you, for you to say that, okay, if the person kills someone, the person tells the wife, that's it, best friend, vulnerability and all of that, blood, spousal friendship. But then yet you don't see why he should also, the same way he told the wife about killing someone, tell her that also I slept with someone or I'm lusting over a woman. So let me try to help me understand why there's a difference in saying either of the other one and not saying the other one. That's what I want to understand.
Let me help you understand it. The sin against self is distinct from the sin against a third party. Right? If I'm so upset with Franca, for instance, I said to you that, Jessica, as my friend, this girl don't make me vex. I'll do a strong thing. And who I believe hard and say, look, I have done XYZ. I did it in error. If you can forgive me, please do. But if you find it impossible to forgive me, let us part ways with mutual respect and continued friendship. And I've seen such situations in real life. Where I say, look, now let me give you an example. Life case that we had. I think I've said this to you before, Franca. A lady was going to work, left for work, forgot her bag. High earners, high professionals, both of them, forgot her bag, came back home, and then went in and she was hearing noise upstairs. She believed that her husband was cheating, maybe with the help of somebody.
Okay, I met him with the driver.
And she tiptoed upstairs and saw that the husband was on all fours, receiving evil spirits from his driver. And the woman could not handle it. The woman collapsed. Ran out, took off. After every, let's cut the long story short, they had a family meeting, and the man admitted that, look, I did it, but however, I am actually tired of hiding this part of me from you. This is who I am. We filed a divorce in court. The man said he does not want to lead evidence, but everything he has acquired until that day is giving it to the wife and the children of the marriage.
Good man.
For me, you must get to that point with your spouse to be able to say, you know what? Because the truth is that whether you believe it or not, if you are cheating and you are accused of it, or you feel that, okay, this is wrong, now that is the distinguishing factor here now. There are people who see cheating as conquest, as, oh, I'm doing great. And there are some who would cheat and see it as a failure of their flesh, that it was in the state of their weakness that this happened, and become remorseful and regret about that act. You walk up to your wife and you say, look, I have wronged you in so many ways. I've sinned against you. I have broken my vow against you. This is what I did. If you can't forgive me, if you cannot, I will understand. For me, that is even another height of love. If she forgives, fine. If she doesn't forgive, you will feel better. You feel lighter with yourself. You will be a happier person that, look, I have confessed my sin before man and God.
Sajo, you think
If
that's
she
the
doesn't
height of
forgive,
love?
that means that she allows you to continue in
What
sin.
Sajo says is not what he practices.
Sajo thinks it's the height of love when you confess.
Sajo, please, I want to ask. So, but Sajo, but I
What I
thought the
say is
men.
not what I practice. Is that what you just said, Franca?
No, not you. So, Sajo, what I'm saying is, so, but they say men don't agree to their sins because they love you, they respect you. That's not why they say men do not agree to when you catch them.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. So, Sajo, how come when they confess now is the height of love and respect?
Now, let me give you one of the code, one of the
Okay.
boys' code.
Okay.
The major reason why a man will not say to you that he has done X, Y, Z beyond loving you is that he does not know what you will do with that information. And that again is the only reason we lie to each other in marriages. Because when your wife has said the truth to you, you use it against her. And when the husband told you the truth, you use it against him. So he will never say the truth to you anymore. So it's not just love. It's love, but it's also fear of what you will do with that information.
So then how are you guys best
have
friends if you
it.
then lie to one another?
No, but you know, he already said
Can
that a lot of marriages they're not best friends in a lot of marriages. He mentioned that is not something that is practiced. He already mentioned that.
You see, the marriage I'm talking about is the ideal marriage, which
Not
is
what
less
is
than
practiced here,
5%,
which is 5%.
which is less than 5% of what we have
Do you understand?
in this country, and I think in most part of the world.
So why then do people get married? Why are people getting married if there's no ideal marriage out there? Why do they constantly confine themselves to this prison that is called marriage and yet do not get what they need from it? You know it's a total lie and you're there.
Because they get away with
Just
it.
that for about 3 years, I was taking marriage classes at St. Leo's Catholic Church, Ikeja. And one of the experiences I had there, one of the most, not embarrassing, one of the most disturbing experiences I had in that period of taking marriage classes was that whenever I came to class, the first thing I would ask is, why are you getting married? And I was always shocked that over 80% of persons in that class never knew why they were getting married. So it is not about what marriage, it is what you give to life, to the universe, that it returns back to you. That's basic. It's what you give to marriage that you get back. It's what you give to friendship that you get back. It's what you give to your profession that you get back from it. You can't give nothing and expect so much. You can't invest in friendship and not get reward. You can't say, oh, because Franca is nice, you take advantage of her every time and expect that tomorrow the universe will not punish you for taking advantage of a good person. So indeed, most people go into marriages not knowing why they are going into it. And so it is always in that state of confusion that they work on for the first 5 years, and when they're not able to come out of that darkness, the marriage collapses, or they find an in-route into what they now call marriage, which will be completely different from their ideas.
But is it that they don't know why they don't know? Is it that they don't know why they get married, or they are getting married for the wrong reasons? Do you get what I'm saying?
Wrong
I
reasons.
put these questions and I do not get answers. I don't know.
Sergio, no, you don't get answers that you expect.
Oh, yeah.
Not like they don't tell you something.
They don't say anything.
Because
Most of them, it is couple counseling in the church.
yeah, because you know why? Maybe they don't
And
want to say, Sergio, wait now. So maybe they don't
I
want
will
to say,
break it.
because it's husband and wife together, they really don't want to say the reason. Because Sergio, let me tell you what it is. Some people get married because their parents are asking them to get married.
One.
Some people get
That is
married.
not the reason.
Sorry?
That's not a reason for getting married.
It is a reason.
Sergio, you don't get my point.
It's still a reason.
That's why I
regardless.
said they have a reason for getting married, but it's not the right
Ideal,
reason.
yeah,
It's not the
yeah,
ideal
but it's still a
reason for
reason.
getting married.
He'll tell you my
But
mother.
you know that they don't have a reason. Something is pushing them to get married. There's something. Do you understand? Some people will tell you they're
Could be
married for love.
finances.
Some people will tell you love, finances, whatever.
Shelter. They just want to get out of the
protection,
house.
security.
So much,
There's so many things that
age.
people age,
Bearing children.
having
Age,
kids.
yeah.
So Sergio, that's the reason they're getting married, but they are not proud enough to say
say it,
that.
yes.
That's the reason they're getting married. So that's why when you ask, they can't tell you that that's the reason they're getting married. A man is not going to tell you in front of his wife, I'm marrying my wife because I want her to have children for me. The woman is not going to tell you in front of her husband, I'm marrying him because I cannot pay my bills.
Yeah, they mostly hide under the umbrella of love.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, so because I love her.
That's not-
And guess what? They don't even understand
What
what
love
love
is.
is.
Yeah.
So Sergio, they actually have a reason, but the reason they get married for the wrong reasons. And Sergio, there was something you said that I needed to, expatiate on. You know, when we're speaking and we said that it is what you give, and the for marriages, you mentioned that in marriages,
What you give is what you get.
This is what the ideal. That the ideal, what we just explained, or what you just explained here, is what the ideal marriage should be. Sergio, you are the person that knows. A lot of people don't know what the ideal marriage is supposed to be.
But Frank, let's be honest, yeah? There's no ideal marriage.
No, we're not talking about whether there is.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
So what you make it to be.
It is what they have been told. So nobody has been called to say, come and sit down.
This is the script.
This is what marriage is. Because they don't even have good marriages. So everybody is saying what they think based on what they have experienced or what they have been
works
told.
for them. Or what works for them. Yeah.
Sergio, I can tell you that your explanation of marriage sounds very fantastic, but that's what you have told yourself. Do you understand? That's what you have understood from everything, experience, life, and everything. That's your explanation of what an ideal marriage should be. And I can tell you that maybe 5% or 10% of the world population agrees with you. But let me say something. Somebody else would come with what he or she thinks an ideal marriage should be, and 20% will also agree with that person. And everybody gets congregation.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a crowd. So there's no uniform definition of what a marriage should be. People, even from the Bible, people have different interpretation of what the Bible has said marriage should be. Do you understand? So that's why I'm saying that as much as I don't want to fault, I honestly don't want to fault anybody regarding this, because they're not informed.
And let me add here, with this whole best friend and marriage, a lot of people don't understand friendship in marriage.
Yes.
Their background, they didn't see it happen.
Yes.
Their parents were not friends. They didn't speak. They didn't talk. Maybe she only spoke when the father tells her to speak. Maybe she couldn't even be around, him for that long. So So they have this ideology of what a wife is, and now they're looking for a wife, or you're looking for a husband, and the least thing you want is they will even say to you, how can my wife be my friend? Because they look at her as a different, the reason
The
why
minute
she's
she's
there.
your wife, she's no longer.
Do you understand?
They
A
look
lot
at
of
her
people see
differently.
it totally different. They don't
Yeah.
understand it. Even what Sajo is saying about, how can I be best friends with my
What do I
wife?
want to discuss
What I
with
want to
her?
discuss with her.
Sajo, let me give you an instance. I have someone who is my very good friend. As in, well informed, do you understand? But guess what? We've always had a conversation about the sleeping arrangements in the house and everything, but he didn't understand. So I've always said, I always say, you should share a room with your wife. That's what I always used to say. It has its downsides, but it also has its advantages. So I say, it's better you share your room, and all that. But they are used to separate rooms. People have different reasons. They say you want their space. They don't want, they want to choke.
I can't have a shared room with my husband.
Good. But guess what happened? So they got a new place, and for some reason he was just watching, and then he saw the way the kids were like, oh, this is daddy's room, this is mommy's room.
That's what they know.
That's what they know. And at that point, it just dawned on him that, you know what?
Yes.
This is not what they should know. Because they will grow up thinking this is what
is normal.
This is what is normal.
Yeah.
And they even if they now go meet someone else who says, oh, let's share the room, like, no, that's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but that's why.
And that's what just continues to happen in every home, like that. So you find out that people who come from a home where there's love, behave differently in marriage. People who come from homes where they're able to express themselves are better material, do you understand? Are better in marriages. And then people who come from home where the woman was suppressed, the man was the alpha and omega in the house, they behave in a certain way. They also behave in a certain way. So the truth is, when you have somebody from a different background, and this other person from a different background come together, it will be difficult to, except they sit down and have a proper conversation, it will be difficult to navigate this thing called marriage. In all honesty, because they don't understand it. They don't. It's just like there was an example they gave us, in class. Somebody was saying that somebody who is used to taking water every morning.
Yes, and coffee.
Somebody else who is used to taking coffee every morning.
Yes.
There's nothing you're going to tell the person because they both think is the right thing
to do. Yeah.
This one, mama tell them, say, they take water every morning, it will flush your system, which is true. This one, mama tell them, say, take coffee every morning, it will make you, it will clear your head and
energize
you and all
wake
that.
Wake you up.
Guess what? Both of them are right.
Yeah.
But that's what they know. And the only way to make one person understand what the other person is saying, don't push, don't pressurize the person. This is why. Try it and see if it works for you. That's what I think. So before we go on our break, we're saying that couples should be best. Okay, so the question is not if they should they be best friends? That's the ideal thing.
Yeah. So no, that's not the ideal.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, Jacinta, you explain.
No, that's not the ideal thing.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference